GM everyone, this is Clément from Commit, and today I'm with my fellow friend Moshe from Aleph.im. How's it going, sir?
Hey, hello. Really happy to be here. And I'm pretty fine. Well, we are like at ETHCC, and ETHCC is pretty fire. There is a lot of people, so that's pretty good.
And it's pretty hot today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are all at ETHCC right now. We had a great time. There is the Aleph booth. Yeah, it's like fire right now. So the first question is my favorite one. How would you sell me Aleph in under 30 seconds?
Well, Aleph.im is a decentralized cloud computing platform.
Okay.
We provide storage, as in file storage, database storage, and serverless computing like Amazon Lambda, or no instances, a bit like a VPS that you could get on DigitalOcean or like any other provider, and soon to be also confidential computing. That's Aleph.im in a nutshell. Then we have a lot of other stuff, but that's the core.
Storage, computing, VM, indexing.
Yeah.
And that's
the main thing of
that's the
Aleph.im.
main thing. Okay, great. So if you have to sell me Aleph, so this is what Aleph.im is all about. What are the unique features that Aleph provides for the decentralized cloud ecosystem?
It's an integrated solution. When you need cloud computing, you don't go a bit on AWS, a bit on another. You don't take storage here, computing for one kind here, computing for another kind there. Well, some people do, but most of the companies don't. And what we offer is an all-in-one solution where we provide both storage and computing. Why is it important to have both? Because when you do computing, you need to store virtual machine images, you need to store user data, you need to do a lot of stuff, which is storage. So this is important on this one. And yeah, that's the main unique thing. And also we are well integrated with the Web3 ecosystem and like all the blockchains. And the good part about that is that you can decentralize the backend for a DeFi application quite easily on Aleph.im.
Okay, so basically it's like a 360 platform. Like if we compare to other ecosystem companies, like so Filecoin is doing only storage and Render Network is doing only computing. So
Yeah.
Aleph is doing both and like everything all in one, and developers or company can use only what they need.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And also what I didn't mention is that it's more akin like a marketplace. Like people can come and put servers on the network
Yeah.
and get paid for it.
Okay.
Like it's not our own infrastructure.
Yes.
It's like companies and people putting servers on the network and getting paid for it.
Okay. And making that everyone like using as they want the
Exactly.
whole server. Okay, great. There is a new feature that is coming. That is still. It's already live. I guess the instances.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about instances.
So if you ever used the cloud offering or like VPS or stuff like that in the past,
Okay, VPS is virtual
private server.
Okay.
It's just like when you have your own server, except that it's virtualized, it's a virtual machine. For you, it appears like a regular server. When you go to like, say, let's say DigitalOcean, which is the most known one, or like Amazon EC2 instances on AWS, well, you request an instance and you get it, and then you can connect using SSH onto it. Well, we do the same, and we are now releasing that feature in addition to like the serverless offering that we had before. So yeah, a serverless offering was like you put your code on the network, and then the network on the fly, when you do a request to like your URL, will find nodes that will run it and then shut it down. The good part about it is that if you have 1,000 users at one point in time, it will run 1,000 virtual machines on the network and then put them down when it's not needed. But sometimes you need to have long-running processes for like legacy code, or simply because it needs to be running for a longer time. So like that's what we are now releasing, and also custom domains that can point to those instances, which means that you can put any kind of website, any kind of DeFi application backend, any kind of social application, whatever you want on Aleph.im.
Okay, so basically if you run, actually like all the decentralized application, they all rely on a centralized part. I mean,
Yeah.
their backend is on maybe AWS cloud, Google Cloud, or Azure, or whatever it is. And this is somehow not fully decentralized. And
Yeah.
if they integrate Aleph, for example, they can be like fully decentralized.
Yeah, actually, I've had a good case. Some people came at the Aleph.im booth at ETHCC earlier today and told me, yeah, we like had the DeFi project, but one day AWS shut us down. They removed everything and we couldn't have access to like our data. And we couldn't even migrate because we didn't have our data anymore. And if we had Aleph, it wouldn't have happened. Yep.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And because AWS was shutting down crypto projects.
Yeah, it's like even it's like the data centers. I mean, if you have a website, for example, the Commit website, we use our own servers. But for example, if we rely on OVH or Yonos or all these ones, and when a couple of years ago the OVH servers they went down, I think it was a huge fire or something like that, and big news outlets like Le Monde or Numerama or whatever, all this website, they went all down because they all rely on one data center.
Yeah, and the good part with the instances on Aleph.im, there is a really killer feature in it, which is the snapshot system. Your VM has snapshots that are taken quite regularly. And then if your if the host that is hosting your VM goes down, because sometimes nodes go down, because of fires, because they go out of business, because they don't want your content on it anymore. It can happen.
Yeah.
Well, on the Aleph.im network, it's not an issue because then the network reschedules it somewhere else and it continues working.
Yeah, you can still use the other nodes.
Yeah, and since you had a snapshot taken automatically, the snapshot is moved and you have a continuity of service automatically. Perfect.
So there's like lots of questions. I will take all like one by one. So recently, there's the instances, which is a brand new feature on Aleph. Then there is another one that came up earlier this year. It's the LLMs, which is the large language models. And there is an application who's running on Aleph, which is Libertai. Could you elaborate on the AI part?
Yeah.
Without, I mean, don't go too far into the like the tech, but how all of this works and compared to, for example, the most used one and the most well-known one is ChatGPT and OpenAI. So how all these things works and how is this different from OpenAI?
Well, there is when you use a large language model today, what we have in mind is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is the most known large language model. Why do we call it a large language model? It's because they have trained what we call transformers on top. I am oversimplifying it.
Yeah, please.
They have trained it on a lot of text content.
Yeah.
Tweets, websites, blogs, books, etc. And it's such a huge amount of data that has been compiled into it that, okay, it doesn't take a lot of space. Like it was perhaps exabytes of data, and the models are perhaps terabytes. It's still huge.
Yeah.
And to get those models into memory, they need to use very big GPUs because what is important is what we call the video RAM, video memory that is in those big GPUs. Now, people in the open source community took work from Meta, which is called Llama, which is another large language model, which is way smaller. Way smaller, meaning that it had been trained on way less data as well. And it has also less parameters, whereas ChatGPT might be 245 billion parameters, or even people are talking about 400 billion with some tricks with multiple submodels or stuff like that. I won't enter into detail. Those models from Llama were like 7 billion parameters, 13 billion parameters, 33 billion parameters, and 65, which is way smaller. And then people understood that that's the title of a paper that came out a month ago, something like that, which is called All You Need is Textbooks.
Okay.
Because when you learn as a kid, you learn with textbooks mostly. And what if your model, you took a small model like that and gave it the equivalent of textbook, not just all the content on Earth, but just very curated content. Then it behaves properly, and it reaches a level of a model that could have 150 billion parameters, and like God knows how many trillions of like input data. Here, with a 13 billion parameters, you can get results that are strikingly close to like those bigger models.
Okay.
And those smaller models are open source. And then people saw, yeah, well, perhaps since they are so small, we can lower the quality of it. So going from 16-bit precision, they've gone to 4-bit precision. Just like when you look at a JPEG, it's compressed.
Yes.
That's a bit similar. And then why not run it on CPU? We don't need big GPUs anymore.
Yeah.
And it works.
Okay.
And then you can take any kind, and then you can take a decentralized cloud computing like Aleph.im on the serverless fashion, where you just put the code and then the network finds where to run it, and to scale to like thousands or hundreds of thousands of users, you put those models inside, and it works.
Okay.
Really well. And that's what Libertai did. That they have put those open source models, tuning it a bit for that decentralized network inside the Aleph.im network. And now, if you go to chat.libertai.io, you can talk with specific models. If you go on the top right, you can choose. Right now, it's GNU Hermes, Wizard Coder, and a few others. There is Wizard Coder, which is trained on coding textbooks.
Okay.
GNU Hermes, which is trained on more generic textbooks. It's not really textbooks, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's what we call a fine-tune or a LoRa, low output. I don't remember right now. Basically, it's like a fine-tuning at all the levels of the text generation.
Okay.
And you can talk with it pretty easily. It's fast and it gives you accurate result on a decentralized network. Now, the good part about it is that if you use OpenAI or its API, they have all your data. And there is a lot of like startups that I saw here at ETHCC that were, yeah, we are doing AI. Oh, really? What is your model? GPT? Yeah, right. Or somewhere like, yeah, no, we do custom fine tuning. Really? Tell me more. Yeah, at the end we use GPT and the OpenAI API. Okay, so like they were all doing it, and a lot of government agencies are starting to do it, and then they have all your data. Because if in the future everything is using AI, the main centralization point won't be AWS, it will be OpenAI, because it will be the cloud.
Definitely.
The cloud that you use, and the cloud will be OpenAI. So that's why it also makes sense for the Aleph.im network in our battle against centralization to like have a decentralized AI as well, because that's also infrastructure That's AI infrastructure. And OpenAI, I've heard that they will also provide APIs really close to what OpenAI provides. So like instead of OpenAI APIs, you can use Liberty APIs on top of the Aleph.im network.
Okay.
And then you can have a decentralized API.
And
yeah.
well, I got the point of all of this, but what really happens if, I mean, if you cannot control it in a way that, I mean, if all this data is not stored in a centralized storage or something like that, isn't it possible to obviously create some bad things with it?
Honestly, I don't think so, because where OpenAI has a big issue with alignment, in AI, alignment means its beliefs, what it thinks is good or wrong. The approach, again, I'm oversimplifying it. AI experts or people who are AI savvy will scream, but I'm trying to make it really simple. They are lobotomizing their models.
Okay.
Saying whenever you get that answer that starts with as a large language model, I cannot blah blah, it's lobotomy. They removed some parts from the model or like closed some doors. When you have smaller models, you can choose on what it learns more easily, and then you can have a better natural alignment. Like just like a kid, if you train it well and you told him what was good, what was right while raising him, then he will know what is good or not.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing for like smaller models like that. Since they don't have the whole web to carry the weight of, they are easier to fine tune. And then it's the fine tune that will put the alignment on top with no lobotomy inside. And also no lobotomy means that they are smarter on certain tasks where lobotomized models can't perform well.
Okay. And don't you think that at some point the governments, states, or whatever it can be called, that they want to regulate this, like heavily regulate it, like, hey, with ChatGPT you can, okay, it's not possible because the model will tell you that it's illegal, but hey, help me create a bomb, for example. And don't you think that all these states all over the world will say like, yeah, we need to heavily regulate those stuff, because they can create massive destruction stuff.
I mean, if you want to know how to make a bomb, you just need to Google it.
Yeah, I know.
So no, but let's be clear. It won't bring you anything new compared to like a Google search,
Yeah.
except that it just finds it faster for you. So in itself, this example, I don't think that you can already find it.
Yeah.
But where AI can be more dangerous is on the autonomous agents part, which is something that is heavily being worked on. It's still a work in progress. You will hear a lot about agents in the next year or so. I think that this AI bubble will fan down, people will forget about it, and then the real utility will come when agents are really powerful and usable. Let's take an example. You want to create something, okay? You want to create a startup that has a website, that has a bank account and stuff like that, okay? You have an idea. You can take a supervisor agent once all of this works well. We are not yet there, but shouldn't be too long. You tell your like managing agent, yeah, please create for me a startup that will sell lemonade on stands on every street corner in the country. You have half a year to do it.
Okay.
It can't do it itself. It will find other AIs with specific models that are fine-tuned on specific tasks.
Yeah.
And it will ask, marketing specialist with a specific prompt telling it, you are a marketing specialist, blah, 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 blah. This is its personality. And it will ask stuff to this one, then get the result, ask stuff to like a management one, to like a legal AI, etc. And then it will manage a team of AI to get to that result. And that management AI is a long-running agent.
Okay.
And if you put it on Aleph.im, this is basically just an instance VM, and the others are just Liberty regular VMs.
Okay, so this is the best use case so far. What are the most significant challenges you have faced in your journey as a founder CEO? It's more personal.
Yeah, it's an hard question. Following in the long run, because seeing a bull run or having, well, at the very beginning, it was continuing with the idea, even when there was no VC funding, nothing in crypto. This was in 2018, 2019. A bit similar to the current state of things, even if there are more VCs now.
Yeah, right now they are like trying to get on some small startups.
Yeah. But back then there wasn't even that, to be honest. Or there were, but mostly people with bad intentions.
Okay.
And it was hard. Like continuing, I didn't have any money, anything, I had to continue. Then DeFi summer came, everything was great, etc. The project was booming, etc. Well, it was good, except I was doing days of 20 hours and I burnt out a few months later. It wasn't even seen by the outside because I had a great team that was continuing, and then it took me a month to recover a bit, and then I was happy to go again. It wasn't a real burn down because I stopped it before. And then just time, and people have a very short attention span in crypto. Yeah. And for them, know our project that was really known in 2020, we are now an OG project, and people are like, yeah, I knew this project. It's old. No, it was just 3 years ago, and we have continued building.
It's just because crypto, like everyone, the thing like coming really, really fast, and like 1 year could be like 10 years in the Web2 space or something like that.
And now we have grown, we have done a lot of things, and people are like, yeah, we knew you back then. It's on our project. No, it's not on our project. We are doing crazy stuff, and it's live, and it's working. Check it out again. I think that this is the hard part right now, but there has been a lot of hard stuff during the road. But I think that the hardest thing it's to just keep going. Never stop, just keep going.
You probably know that I have a particular affection for Solana. We are at ETHCC, so it will be just one question about Solana. So how's the thing working with Solana right now?
Honestly, we had a really good position on Solana in 2021, 2022. Then everything collapsed at one point.
Because of one person, could say?
It's a bit more complicated on that. Honestly, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
it's way more complicated on that. And I think that everyone has a very simple view on that.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily agree on it. But yeah, everything collapsed. And then we didn't get totally out. We still have our indexers working. Yeah. We still have Solana project with whom we work regularly, etc. But it's not our core focus right now. It's still there.
Yeah.
There is still Solana project using Aleph. We are still pretty much supporting Solana. It works well, etc. But we are more focused on developing relationship with other
blockchain EVMs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It was just the 2 cents question because I love so much Solana.
No, but Solana honestly, I think that it has a chance to not follow the way of EOS and Neo.
Yeah.
And perhaps they will manage to rebound, just like Ethereum did post-hack.
Yeah, with the fork, the hard
DAO.
fork. Yeah. No, but I completely understand that the way it was market and managed by
Yeah.
all this FTX stuff, and yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I really disliked it. So, do you have any other upcoming features for Aleph that, I mean, you can disclose, or I mean,
Yeah.
just say thing you're allowed to disclose. I mean, as you are the founder, you can disclose basically anything.
Yeah, well, anything not under NDA.
Yes.
Stuff that are under NDA, I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have the confidential computing coming later this year. I'm pretty excited about it.
So, explain it.
Yeah, sure. So with the instances that are coming right now, that are basically live, but will officially be released today, tomorrow, or something like that. The issue is that the node owner, the host, can't see what is happening inside the VM if he really wants to, because it's its machine. With confidential VMs, he won't be able to. Modulo, side channels attack, etc. But right so far, the technology that we choose hasn't been broken. It might be broken in the future. So you will still need to be careful on what do you do inside those VMs, because you always should. No technology is unbreakable.
I mean, there is no zero risk.
Yeah, exactly. But the risk is really low.
Okay.
So that's the main point. And then, so like nobody can see what is happening inside the virtual machine, so that you can store private keys, API keys, whatever you want, and like even personal data of the users, not necessarily encrypted inside. Okay. Even if it's better to encrypt always.
Okay, so you can encrypt inside something already encrypted. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we have the micro VMs. Anything else?
Yes. So like the custom domains that are also coming. This is really big for like DeFi projects that really want to decentralize everything, because domains can directly point to like your data. And what else? Support for new blockchains like Oasis blockchain. Okay,
Oasis blockchain, which is not Oasis protocol.
Yeah.
Because I've been asked like, yeah, Oasis is the Oasis protocol. No, it's not the same. It's a blockchain funded and made by like the gigantic AAA studios.
Yeah.
Gaming studios. Sorry, like Ubisoft. Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, and all of them.
Well, it's not them that did it. It's people that worked at Japanese studios before, but now as validators, they have all these big studios.
They are supporting this blockchain.
And that are validators of the permissioned layer 1, and have each of them, or will likely have for some of them, their own layer 2 on top. Because it's a solution with permission layer 1 and then layer 2s on top for games, so that you can exchange NFT between different studios. So like, let's say you have a game made by Square Enix, Bandai Namco, whatever, and then you want to move that NFT to a game developed by Ubisoft, you can use that NFT on the other game, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great. I think we've covered all the hot topics.
Sorry. About this. Another alpha. We also want to deploy our dynamic NFT system on top of Oasis as well, so that it could be used for this kind of use cases.
Okay, so dynamic
that I just mentioned.
For the non-techie boys and girls, I mean non-techie people, what are dynamic NFTs?
When you have an NFT, you have what we call the metadata, which is all the text information and the pictures that are actually your NFT.
Yeah.
Those, most of the time, aren't living on-chain. They are living off-chain, and the ownership is on-chain.
Yeah, you have the code on chain,
Yeah.
and then the JPEG
JPEG plus title, description,
all this
attributes.
data, on the storage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the idea is that this storage points to like micro virtual machine on the Aleph.im network, which is the serverless VM that we were talking about before, and those VMs generated dynamically, and it can also be done based on in-game actions inside the game. So, like for example, if you do a power up on a weapon in-game, your NFT will instantly receive that power up.
Okay, that's awesome. Well,
and it's still decentralized because it's on the Aleph.im network.
Okay, and just to summarize, so Aleph.im is not a blockchain. The network is just because all the nodes, they are all together making a network. Because some people might think like, oh, it's a network, so it's a chain on top of other chains. It's EVM or compatible. No, it's just an infrastructure on top of every chain you want. You can build on. You build on Tezos. You help Ubisoft with Tezos, Solana, BNB, etc. Ethereum, obviously Ethereum because we are
Polkadot, Cosmos.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Moshe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you as well.
My pleasure, as always.
Chills, literal chills.